Basement floor plan, we are not doing any excavation below the level of the existing basement, so there's no underpinning or other structural work that is happening to the existing buildings. Next, please. Ground floor plan, we have retail all along Church Street, and a little bit of retail extending around the corner onto Walker, and then a residential entry in the center bay of the cast iron building at 34 Walker, with stairs and elevators set to the east and the front. And then ground floor, we will have new wood and glass infill at the historic building. This is 309 Church. We will be replacing the missing columns with new fiberglass capitals. And then go next, please. Can you go down just a little bit? Yeah, so we do have bulkheads with large show windows, and then the large show windows and transoms with bulkheads at the historic building. And this would be the entrance to the residential with a steel sign on the cast iron above. Then we have further details of the infill for the storefronts. We can come back to these if there are questions. Please. And then here as well. Next. For the upper floors, this is a typical upper floor. We have the large party wall of the existing building. We're creating one opening to connect the two. Here you can see that loggia condition with the new glass wall set behind the cast iron facade screen, and same here. Swing doors on Church and sliding doors on Walker Street. Then a balcony around the perimeter of the new building at 32 Walker. Next, please. Here are some details for that loggia condition. So it's 3'5" set from the back of the cast iron, so it would be about 5 feet from the front of the cast iron. And this is a very simple glazed metal and glass wall. See it here in elevation. Set back, and then there will be a railing set atop the windowsill at the cast iron. See that in elevation here. This would be the Walker Street facade, where we are retaining the original fire escape as well. Next, please. And at the balconies for the new building, these are the sliding glass windows. This is the guardrail with a detailed guardrail. Next. Details for the windows, sliding windows at the new building. Next, please. We did look at some of the precedents for creating this screen wall condition. We've done it in Seminary and 727 Washington. The caption is cut off here, but most of you know 72 Duane Street. Vincenzo Mosnelli was the architect for this redesign, where very similar to what we're doing, the cast iron becomes a screen and the new facade sets behind.
Right, but this facade has a meaning, you're just proposing next to the glass.
All right, keep going.
Go on.
Thank you. Finish.
This is just a detail for the connection at the columns on the new building. Next, please. And detail for the setback condition at the 6th floor, the existing cornice. It's 5 feet from the back of the cornice, but it's about 8 feet from the front of the building. We've done mock-ups. We'll show you that the addition on Walker Street is not visible from any location. The addition The sixth floor addition on Church Street has a small area of minimal visibility. And the bulkhead has some visibility from the south. Please. The detail elevation rather of the upper level, again with the seventh floor, partial penthouse, elevator override, and mechanical screen. Next, please. And then the same on the Walker Street side. Next, please.
An elevator is that, so it doesn't seem to go up so high. Have enough, in other words, your final stop is the roof?
Final stop is seven.
What kind of elevator?
What is the elevator system? I mean, it's a 7 foot or so override, so we're about 17 feet from the final stop. So that's about a typical elevator.
This is a standard six speed elevator bulkhead. Obviously stretcher size. The machine room is in the center.
Selling
Machine rooms and stuff. So section at the top, section through the cornice of the new building as well at the 6th floor, 7th floor setback, 6 foot elevator override. Next, please. And then section at the top of the building with the 34 Walker Street building, the 6th floor addition setback about 8 feet. This actually shows it better because it has the dimensions on it. This is the 6th floor setback on the Walker Street side, setback 8 feet, not visible from the street. On the Church Street side, we set back 10 feet because at 8 feet, we had more visibility than we're comfortable with. There is a small area of visibility, which you can see in the mock-ups, but it is very close to the landmark standard of minimally visible. Next, please. And then this is the footprint of the penthouse, the elevator. Next.
I'm just curious, I don't want to get granular on this, but how are you setting back only 8 feet on, with the 6th floor on that street?
How, in which way?
Isn't there like a minimum setback or like 10 or 15 feet?
This complies with zone. And I asked the same question and I think we're all used to seeing 10 feet, but.
Yeah, at least 10 feet, yeah.
Within the street wall.
The elevator at the bulkhead level with our mechanical equipment, which is pushed all the way to the northeast. This elevator bulkhead does become visible from the south, as does a little bit of this addition. And then our materials, right on screen, but Indiana limestone for the new building. The exterior paint is much more pale yellow white than what is here, which is very typical for cast iron building that era. Storefronts will be a darker green than this, a Lafayette green. And the bulkhead will be so we do have a mock-up up on the building, obviously only on the cast iron part of the building. And then we have in these views ghosted in the new building because some of the mock-up is visible over the side elevation, which obviously the new building is blocked. I do have later photos without this ghosting in if you want to see those. This is the view from sort of diagonally across the street in front of 32 Avenue Americas. And you can see that there is a little bit of visibility. This is actually the railing on top of the 6-story setback at location. Previously, we had that a little bit forward. We thought it was too visible, so back. This is a view looking east on Walker Street. The new building will block any visibility of additions on the historic buildings.
It's a great view.
Oh, okay.
We're
We're almost there, 15 more slides. Let's go.
Oh, I'll explain to you almost in seconds.
Looking east on Walker Street, there's no visibility of the additions. Please.
What's that?
Yeah, which one is it? Just so we get.
This is our new building right
Oh,
here.
okay.
And
Building.
old building right here. There's actually there's a visible elevator bulkhead of the existing building on Walker. And our addition is set about 3 or 4 feet behind that.
Why aren't you guys taking off the fire escape?
This fire escape, we're taking off the fire escape before you came. The fire escape on Church Street
Yeah.
is not original.
Okay.
We're taking that off. This one, is original to the building. So we're taking that one. That's partially discussions we had. Next, please.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely be putting in the resolution, if it's not right, I would immediately get it off. Yeah, go, you're done.
From the south, there are a couple views here from the south in the, sort of triangle where, 6th Avenue and Church Street separate, where there is some visibility. You can see that you are seeing a little bit of the, elevator bulkhead, a little bit of the 7th floor. Next, please. And then here from, sort of right in front of the Roxy, the forward, you can see a little bit of the elevator. Next, please. And then from a little bit further to the east, you are seeing a little bit of the elevator and 7th floor, standing on Church Street looking northeast. Next, please.
So how many stories is that building? 6, 5, what do we got there? I mean, the street wall of that.
The proposed building is 6 stories. This is 6 stories.
Yeah.
And then there's about a 15-foot window along Canal Street looking south, where you do see some of the 7th floor, some of the 7th floor above the existing. Next, please. And then these are just the views of the mock-up without the new building posted in. And just go to the last slide. I can come back to any one of these if you want, but we included these so you can see what we were basing the, just go to the last slide. That's it.
I would like to go back to where you're showing, existing,
That's actually, we had that on the last slide here. Okay.
yeah, the area.
And just Jason and Bruce,
Oh, I got it.
yeah, well, just one of the things that came in before you guys got here is that if I understand correctly, the two historic facades, everything behind them will be gone. We're keeping the facades,
Right?
we're keeping the facades and.
Oh, I know,
everything's
yeah, it's
gone.
on Church too, I got that,
It's
I
fine.
got it.
All right.
Bruce is gonna love
Bruce got that.
We're keeping the facades and the floors, and then the windows will be removed and it's all will be.
Okay, we got it. All right, so I'm here long enough, so that, and Bruce, you'll catch up to speed on this one,
Yeah.
you don't wanna like chime in.
Didn't we have this come
Didn't-
for us
Yes.
once before? I just want to
As
make
a
sure.
primer,
not
as a primer,
crazy.
as a primer.
I remember.
It's quite different now than time.
Yes.
It's much more.
It's developed,
Normal.
it's very developed,
Right.
well,
Yes, yes.
okay, who are we gonna go, right, but we do wanna do this in a very, like, we have a lot of things, we have like 5 things. Okay, it's, okay, so I don't mind the vibe of this, whatever order that you created for the corner building. It's a little bit, jarring that it is 6 stories for me, because most of the buildings around there are like 95% are gonna be 5 stories, 75 feet. So it, and then the setting back the thing is anti-preservation. It just is completely inappropriate. And I love the idea of it, but do it on Lincoln Avenue somewhere.
The banks, is that what you're talking about, Jason?
they're setting back, they're gonna rip off all the stuff and set back
No, the
below.
rest of that, yeah.
Yeah, well, that part I find anti-preservation, so I can't be in favor of that. So I'm not even gonna weigh in on it.
It's a facadectomy, isn't that what it's called? We did that in DC. No, all of King Street.
I don't like the principles behind the way the treatment of that L-shaped building. Are you?
Oh, no, I'm gonna go last.
Susan.
As soon as you start, I'm gonna let you all go. I agree. The total, I'm like,
We need to digest this.
Yeah,
Jerry, you go next. And you can come back, you can just talk out loud, because it's a lot.
I'm just gonna say that my understanding of preservation is that anything 30 years and older is considered historic, and if something's been around long enough, it's considered historic, and there's a lot of other two-story taxpayer buildings in the district that seem to be doing pretty well, like Serafina and Nishnash, and, I'm trying to think here, Grahalis Gallery over on 50 Best Street.
Well, but we want to make a project here. We do want development that's
Singular
sensitive,
building now.
and I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but, you know, I said my problem with it.
I,
Wasn't
and-
particularly
and
the
beyond,
taxpayer.
beyond that, I'm not gonna speak to the architecture of a new building in a preservation situation at this point. I will say that the other two buildings, I would agree with you, it's
Well,
anti-preservation.
it's one building. It's an L-shaped building.
Now, it's becoming yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
That building.
But as far as the other two buildings with the facades, it's not a preservation project at that point. It's a Disneyfication. Keep the facade, redo everything behind and blow it away and start over. So that's all, Bruce.
Well, I really came in too late to opine, but that.
Well,
was-
let's get the section up, because I don't think anyone's gonna contend. I don't want to, I don't speak for anybody,
I was
but I don't think you're gonna have a lot, well,
I was gonna say it's too early for me to opine, but I will anyways. And, first of all, the argument that the taxpayer, it's clearly non-contributing. I mean, we've been fighting this battle since El Teddy's, where we tried to find a scrap of material that went back before the more modern facade. To me, that's a non-issue. We're not pickling the city of Aspen. Other than that, it looks pretty overscale, to me, just from here, and I have a cataract in one eye, so that's my initial comment.
You mean the base as well as the height?
Uh, Yeah, I'm just looking at the massing,
Okay.
but you're probably right.
But this fights, it sticks out on the corner.
yeah,
Uh,
our lady.
You know Duragi, right?
What-
Would you like look at him before you give us his base?
Are you, in doing these closures, are you planning on blowing out all the, inside of the building to make it one uniform building? Or you would be keeping the old joists in this crazy shaped building?
So to clarify on that, we're not touching any of, even the brick wall of the L-shaped building, we're not touching that, we're keeping it. We're not removing the wood joist, we're not touching the facade other than removing the windows, and we appreciate your comment on that, and we can certainly look into it and keep them, right? Like, it's really presenting it in a way that, in the green matter, we thought Diesel Gia can bring some greenery to this area that's very bricky. But we can certainly, accommodate on that, but the building, the L-shaped building, is remaining, so this brick wall is remaining. We're reinstating, removing everything that's been bricked off, reinstating the retail and preserving as much as we can, other than the windows, comment noted, from the original building, because actually it's been intact. It's in a very good condition for its age and it's a beautiful building, beautiful building.
I just want to add to my comment that I like that corner has always looked sawtoothed. It's improbable there was something bigger there, and I like it being filled in.
Yes, right.
Yes, I don't think anybody would want.
Would they do it still the same project? Does it make financial sense or whatever to just not take all those windows out and instead flip the script and do a paint analysis, put back in beautiful windows, make it look, and then still get your corner building, which looks a little bit tall, but whatever. and your penthouses, because they're minimum. But to me, the loggia in this building is reserved for a building that maybe was torn down and you're rebuilding it. If you like the idea of keeping your brick wall and the joists, these disgusting old joists or whatever, then again, flip your thinking and think about keeping or putting back beautiful new windows, just as
We
they
are, we
were.
are open to it. We're certainly.
Yeah, great. So I can't write a positive resolution, that I would vote in favor for that says, and by the way, I love the loggia. But I can try to get these guys into a resolution that is like, well, they showed us a loggia and it's a non-starter, but if they want to do something that's more in keeping with the preservation purpose that we uphold here, we would entertain the corner building and your setback penthouses, if your visibility is in fact the way you present it. So it's really, you have two options here. You have three options. You could also, we could just write a negative resolution based on your as presented, and you could come back and try to tell the whole board a new story and get them to vote in a certain way, but
Let's get this lady to call it.
yeah, who's got some?
No, two ladies.
Oh, of course, our queens.
Yes.
Queens. What do you guys have to say?
Please.
No, I mean, I agree, the height is a little bit out of character for the area. And walking by, I mean, I know you want to get as much space and penthouse as you can, I totally understand that, but
But you can digest well the loggia part, because I want, if we can take that out, again, if nobody has a problem with it also, then I'm not.
We're gonna get started.
I'm trying to be very,
Yeah.
I
I'm gonna make a
agree with
comment
you
about
on that,
that.
but I do want to comment on the design of the corner building,
Right.
somehow, it's a little glassy to me, so.
That's where I was.
okay, well,
do
I
understand.
suggest making a 6-story building that looks like a 5-story building somehow, and that would probably get digested better, but you don't have to like what we say about that either. You guys can keep going forward with the project.
I'm so
And are we up to Vicky now? Yes, okay.
Unless you were Lucy.
I want Lucy.
I mean, lovely presentation, 57 sheets, like terrific, effort. I would just, for me, is that I'm reading 1, 2, whatever, this doesn't even matter. I'm reading the center, right? These two sides obviously are symmetrical, but this is not one building. Did not resolve, for me anyway. First of all, you did not resolve the reading of a corner building. And second of all, you did not make enough of an effort to read a historical reference. You can't just put that wall and say, oh, it looks just like it. It doesn't. If we have this continual rhythm, right? Maybe we can, you could have done, there are many things you could have done just to, you don't have to copy the capital and all the related details, but you could make some kind of a gesture, something that relates and he reads all the way along. While you may think that everyone who buys here wants to live in a special building, you know what? They already are. They've got the best corner. But they can have the architecture of a similar rhythm just going around. For me, it has not been resolved as a singular building.
Okay, that's everybody.
We have someone on-
Okay, anyone want to speak online or from the public?
Alice has her hand up.
Yeah.
Online.
Thanks. Hey, Jason, can you hear me? I'm having a really hard time hearing this. I don't know why, but so I came late to the party. I apologize, and I couldn't hear everyone's comments. I'm sure it's been said, but I would like to propose to the committee to identify that I would argue that, and I think this has been mentioned, that the height of this building is beyond talking about its materials and its look and much of what I think was covered. I just make sure that, in recognizing the height, there's absolutely no reason for an extra story here except to have an extra, luxury dwelling. And it does break but the one thing that is contextual there is the actual height around that area. And to make that higher on that block in that area, it doesn't make much sense to me. So I would, love that to be included if that's something that the committee is considering also is true. Thanks.
So
So zoning wise, you're permitted to do it, or you're asking permission for an additional floor?
This complies with them. It's just landmarks that we're asking for permission from.
So in terms of height, this is.
Right, that's what I mean, is there a high limitation?
We're,
Like,
we're within the same height as the approved 14 White Street, 31 Listed are both corners that are adjacent to the site.
That's irrelevant. We comply with them.
It's within.
It
yeah.
complies.
I mean, we can't, this is not the forum
Right.
to analyze
It's as a
this
front.
man's this guy's zoning calculations.
Then why are we asking?
I in the beginning picked out something that seems peculiar because it's not set in this loggia idea, and then the sixth floor setback 8 feet. On a street like that, that doesn't seem like a setback that I would call for, but I'm not here to like get into that, so. Okay, so it's all as of right zoning, we covered that clearly on this thing, and, we're back to, I laid 2 options out. We don't like the height of we like a height that's more like 75 feet and 5 stories, which is 95% of all the buildings in that area, in our these districts. I would like to do something, make some progress here and get you guys to not present forward this idea of a loggia because it's not right. So do you guys want to say that you would, we will write something that says we like your project, except, yeah, he wants to do that.
Okay.
Okay, great. So,
Right.
but we're gonna say something about, we're gonna say something about how we think that little corner's a little bit high, but again, you're gonna just keep moving forward and,
Well, this is the more delicate one, but it's your recommendation.
right. I'm gonna write it as a recommendation, and then you're gonna have a thing that says we don't really like the corner being so high. What do you want to say?
I was just gonna point out that, I totally agree with you in the sense that these windows need to come out to the front from the preservation point of view. But I also think we're in an evolution of historic preservation to high performance buildings too. Setbacks create shade on the west and south side, that are very helpful for energy use and stuff.
Well, you're exempt from that because you're part of a national district in this building. And,
But I
like that.
I'm just throwing that out as some of the reasons why. that-
Yeah, for me, it's just too much of like I see like a thing grabbing claw and whipping out this stuff and throwing it away forever, and then, I don't know, Bruce, do you agree? I know, I'm surprised.
I just came in too late
Oh.
to be informed of things.
Okay,
agree.
so we're gonna do a positive resolution that we said we'd really like to go forward with the windows and everything, kind of like the street wall being preserved. And we think it's a little high in the corner, but we would take that if they're
But
gonna
what
preserve
about
the building.
the loggia?
What about the what? The loggia, he's saying he's not doing the loggia.
Okay, but I think we should mention, sure, you know who I am.
Yeah, we're gonna write that part of it, but it could be written as a purely negative thing, or this man is saying,
Fine,
I'm willing to do this, and I think that's a really nice thing.
there's 3 buildings here now, right?
Two
Yeah, but 2.
A corner building and an L-shaped building from the 1850s.
Right.
60s.
Right, so we're only commenting on these 2, not on this one.
No, on this one, we're saying we find the street wall high, and we'd like it lower.
And I don't like the reading, the square reading with all
Okay.
these rounds. I don't-
Okay. Okay, no, it's not me. Okay, you want arch windows, that seems like,
No.
okay, when we do it.
What I want is a uniform reading. I
Okay.
don't want to try.
You get a whereas in the
Fair
thing
enough,
to write
fair
about the
enough.
uniform reading.
Can I just clarify what
Yeah.
uniform reading means?
I'm talking about the arches from the cast iron building,
Yes.
although there are many. Cast
Non-art,
iron and
Yes. Typology, there's a dance going on, and a continuation, so that you read that whole project of yours as a single building rather than 3 pieces, right?
Okay.
This piece, something that wraps up in the middle. Unless you said to us, I want 3 distinct buildings on this corner, but you're out in the middle of nowhere, nobody cares, and not in a historical district, anyway. they'll
I
exist.
hear you that, and actually our first presentation had something in that.
Yes,
manner.
we had actually using Friday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. However, I think.
So I don't.
That's why that's why we all recall
It was also 20 feet below.
it was lower, yes.
No, it was not, it was higher actually.
Oh, well, I think that, yes.
Photoshop that one in.
Yeah, we had some trouble with that.
I don't know. I think this is getting very positively written for the kind of intervention here. And I appreciate your pivoting on completely changing the closure thing. And I hope that you guys do that and then this project is a success.
Well, they can come back.
No, don't come back.
I want to point out one thing to them, though, if you're talking about loges. The loggia that was done to great consternation on Church Street
Uh-huh.
and White
Uh-huh.
was an abject failure sales-wise.
Thank you.
So,
Well, that's four follows fine.
It's too hard to replicate something. We've seen.
I got you.
execution, and This is actually one of the reasons why, and to be fair to the board, when one of the comments we had at the first meeting is that, like, good luck doing this in the same shape and form with
Right.
cast iron. And you know what, we went and.
You're right.
You're 100% right. Like, this is not gonna be a perfect match. It's gonna look cheap in a way, so.
Don't do a match.
Yeah,
match. We're not asking
so-
that.
direction.
Yeah.
the value engineering has begun before.
Yeah, you're very lucky. This is very, very, very good free advice. Okay.
So shall we make a motion?
Yes.
You
A motion to,
write it as we.
right, to write it as we said.
Yes,
Yep.
I so move.
Okay. Who's in favor? Bruce, are you even voting?
You vote.
One second.
Gerald? You opposed?
I am.
Okay.
Okay, I like that.
Okay. Any abstentions? Any recusals? Motion
I
carries.
respect my committee.
I know.
This is,
This is why we're here. Absolutely.
1950.
Anyway,
Thank you.
1950s are as relevant as
yeah.
1850s.
Thank you.
so.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. Hello.
Fine.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, thanks. Wow,
I
this
just
is
wanted
everybody-
to make sure that I hadn't lost the night. Because you weren't here, so we made reservations.
Yeah, no, I was. I remember seeing it too. Yeah.
I thought I had lost one.
Who's online? Anybody else?
If someone's gonna be on this committee voting negative all the time, it's better he than Mark Emery. So.
Oh,
Stop.
Mark said disregard.
Yeah, 20's on.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for working with us.
Franklin?
I don't know if I should take that as a
Can you,
compliment.
it is a compliment to raise that? I forgot that we.
It's okay. 70 Franklin, are you in the room?
Yes. Okay, 70.
Come up. That's fine, you're all right.
The garden, that sounds temporary to me. Oh, we got an elevator.
Yeah, I know, you
I'm sorry.
And it was-
And beautiful, new, modern, it doesn't have to look like.
I just wondered.
Well, And I apologize
great.
for saying that.
I'm glad we got through that in some good time. Okay. that worked.
No,
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Good evening, my name is Jamal McCreer, I'm with the firm Andre Keller Architect. We're proposing a rooftop garden, but extending the elevator from the fifth floor up to the roof. The property is located on the corner of Franklin Street and Franklin Place. The facade, everything is being stayed intact, everything as far as up to the fifth floor. Anything that we're doing on the roof is all set back, we have a pergola, we have the elevator, planting and so forth. The owner just wants to have access and have an elevator go straight up to the roof of our apartment. Yes. Press the screen.
No, it's not gonna work with me.
I'm almost want to press the screen to move it up. Here,
That's it, that's it.
look at the big icon.
Do that too.
Lucy, give me the big iPad.
Here's some of the mock-ups. Here's some of the mock-ups of the pergola layout and what we're doing on the roof. So from the facade, the visible views of the elevator bulkhead is from White Street, where you see a portion of the bulkhead sticking out. We're looking to build it to match the existing brick. It's almost a continuation of the facade going out just at the elevator. So from Franklin Street, it's not visible. And actually, the most visible point is actually from an alleyway, this alleyway that you'll stand here under the covering, that you'll be able to see this portion of the bulkhead. Next. There's some 3D renderings, again, from White Street, you'll be able to see the bulkhead. This is an aerial view, the pergola, plantings, but the most significant built-up structure is the elevated bulkhead, which is going up about 13 feet, 7 inches above the cornice. Next.
You'll snap with the people online after that presentation.
So again, this is from a straight-on view, the existing facade, the proposed. This is an existing bulkhead, we just platted it, we're recladding it in brick. So the whole roof has a structure, a built structure, a brick structure, but this is the new elevated bulkhead that's being proposed. Next. This is the view from the rear, north side, and all the existing, we're not touching anything below the cornice. We're cladding the mechanical equipment room area, but that is not visible because from this sight line, really all you see is the corner or this diagonal corner of the new proposed elevated bulkhead. Next. Again, this from Franklin Place, we just highlight the whole area of what we're building out, and again, the elevated bulkhead. Focus.
I don't know.
Next. And this is part of the interior floor plan. Really, the most significant is the fourth floor. We're just making a duplex to connect all the spaces together, the fourth and the fifth. But go to next. You can skip this. That's all. It's just a roof plan. Next. Here, show you the layout of what we're proposing for our rooftop garden, the elevated bulkhead. I think this is about 13 feet by 8 feet. And everything is set back. This is the front cornice line. So everything is set back beyond that. Because of the narrow streetway at Franklin Place and Franklin Street, the visibility is very shallow. So again, like the only thing that's actually visible is from the rear when you stand in this alleyway, this private alleyway, and you're able to see this elevated bulkhead. Again, we try to be accommodating to the existing facade. We're looking to match the brick. So it's just a little bit of a continuation just at this elevator. Next.
I think
Hawkins.
that's it, that's a letter.
Okay.
Thank God he loved
You start, we see existing proposed, we can see, it. Do we do a mock-up?
Yes, it was part of.
Okay, can I just see the mock-up again?
I just wanted to, so for example, the elevator, is internal.
That's the back.
Yeah.
Ground floor.
Well, the existing elevator does come from the ground floor. Starts on the ground floor. It goes through the mountain. Currently, it stops at the 5th floor.
So
We're
all
opening
you're
up.
doing is adding, this elevator will now go all the way to the rooftop. So I know this problem, okay.
Oh, it's done.
And then,
There we go.
We highlighted some of the mock-up.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna build a brick elevator bulkhead
Yes,
to try to use, you know, match the brick?
yes.
Oh,
I certainly hope so,
okay, I don't have a problem with it.
yeah. And, it's just the other structure that you have on the roof that, looks rendered white, is that just painted white? What is it? It's just.
Well, this is just a pergola system.
That's lovely.
Yeah, that's not really
No,
docket.
there's an existing something.
Oh,
or other.
the existing
Yeah.
elevator? We're
Oh,
looking
there's
to,
two elevators. in
well,
building.
this is the machine room for the elevator from the front. This is more of the public elevator for the building, and this is gonna be the private elevator.
That's what they're
It is currently the private elevator, we're just extending.
extending it, I got it.
But the public elevator, right now is clad in stucco. And
Yeah, it's funny because once you rendered it as nothing and void and you put yours in
Oh.
brick, immediately light to the eye, and I started to like cringe, but.
well, we are proposing to clad that in brick, because right now the stucco
sure?
is not. it's not a-
But
not
you
a-
showed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it.
Anyone else?
Nope.
Bruce?
No, no, I think it's fine.
It's fine, right?
And you have 2 people online? We have 6 people.
Really? It was at first,
Who's online?
that was very,
Yeah.
a lot of people.
I make a motion.
I second. Any abstentions? Any recusal, motion carried 7-0.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Better call us
Thank
at
you.
that rooftop party.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's been a while since I did a community board presentation, actually
Hudson?
brought boards.
Oh.
That's how long I've done this.
Yeah, well, that's. I don't like boards.
Boards.
We love
The
boards.
boards.
We would have loved the boards.
What, what are?
I just wanna say,
Andre Chelisher of Architects.
Chelichan.
I appreciate the fact that you knew how to do an LPC presentation with the before and after on the same page.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
How many presentations we get where we're flipping back and forth? It's like, no, we wanna see it together.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Well, again, that's how old I am. I've been doing this.
Yeah, but that's the right.
Understand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chelichan?
Chelisher.
Hi, good night.
Actually, Chelisher Architects.
LISCCHE.
I know.
Just curious.
My office on some project.
Oh, yeah, I think I did recognize her.
Yeah.
I didn't get his name, but I'm writing.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
You are. Dude, I've moved on with numbers, what's that?
Changes.
Okay, on a wedding ring.
Sir?
Oh, you that was.
This one?
What's his name? I don't know, I think that Ward.
Cleaver,
Cleaver.
Ward Cleaver.
Cleaver, Ward Cleaver.
No, I'm just kidding. That was Beavers.
Oh, that was.
Slip it over here.
That lost my mind.
Oh, he's an architect.
The
That
man,
guy?
the first man who presented.
Architect.
Architect.
Chelichan.
No, he's a preservationist.
No, those two who just left?
No,
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 no, the
no.
one before.
Which
That's-
He was a preservationist.
What was the preservation?
The guy who made the
Walker.
presenter.
One that did Walker.
Who did
Yeah.
Walker.
Is he on our- I don't remember. He was here before us.
Yeah, he's with Pacebar.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Higgins and what?
Yeah, the big dogs.
This is 55 Hudson, we have one more and then the streets, okay.
Yep.
So we're on what?
55 Hudson, number 4.
Okay.
My name's Leon Stephen Harris.
Stephen Harris?
Yeah.
Okay.
And here to present 55 Hudson Street. Really, the scope of this presentation is the 2 replacement windows into existing openings on the Staple Street facade of, here, this is existing and proposed here, left and right.
So don't tell us where the proposed is.
Well, we can read it. We
I
can read it.
We can read it. You have to speak a little louder for the report.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Next, please.
Okay, sorry.
We'll come back to this slide. This is my presentation.
Okay.
So the subject property is 55 Hudson. It's the American Express. American Express building. It's on the corner of Hudson and J. It has 3 principal facades. The main is on Hudson, the second is on J, and the third, which is a common brick, is on Staple. The 2 windows in question are on Staple Street at the 10th floor and on the stairwell to the roof. It's located in the Tribeca West Historic District. Next slide, please. On the left is the designation photograph from 1991, which is the only public record photograph I could find of this facade. We did search through the 1940s tax photo database and could not find any shot of the Staple Street facade. So the only thing we can say with certainty is that this was built before 1991. Some anecdotal evidence that from the previous owner that this was here in 1970. This is a current photograph.
I'm sorry to interrupt you so quickly, but
Yeah.
what are you saying was constructed?
Oh, sorry, it's the
Oh,
large opening on the 10th.
oh, yeah, because
Not the
this
building,
is
not the
from
building.
1860 or 70.
So your scope is just the window.
Yes,
Just this-
it's
this-
just that section.
Just the window and that.
Okay.
Okay.
You just want to see it. And next slide. Next,
3-2 for the long day.
next.
Next, Luce.
Sorry, these are just for a second.
some existing photos.
I'm sorry.
It's a little blurry for some reason.
Come over here, Bruce, look.
There we go.
Just
It came
the
in.
existing windows
Cleared up.
that he said, it's.
Yeah,
it's
just catch that. It's a rectangular.
One window. Yeah, that's the
Long
one.
rectangular.
That's the one he's replacing, the long rectangular.
Where was the second one though?
The second one is on this.
It is, okay, the
Oh,
top.
that
Got it.
I just, you know.
Did you do what you could at?
It's my only bit.
So, I mean, you can see it most prominent. Sorry. System.
That's the proposed. or that's the-
This is existing.
So what do you want to do to it?
So,
Yeah.
so we want to. The window type from aluminum to steel.
Good.
Same color. We want to, change the operation from double hung to fixed over awning.
Huh.
And we would like to change the mullion pattern from 5 bays of 2 lights to 6 bays of 3 lights, so smaller light sizes. If you go to the next slide, please. This is some more setting the stage. This is the existing oval Staple Street facade. Next, please. This is the proposed Staple Street facade.
Interesting.
I'll zoom in. I'll zoom. Zoomed in existing, next slide. Zoomed in proposed, these are just the swing.
Yeah. Can we go back one? please?
I like it better too. I like it much better.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, basically our gripe with this, the way that this was done in this current condition is that they used windows meant for much smaller openings, large opening. You know, our contention is that a large opening should have just an industrial slash window.
I would agree with
So how many more slides are there?
Keep going, next, please.
49.
No.
Because
No.
I've passed this for 35 years and it always looked, the top always looked weird. It's
So
a
this
beautiful
looks very
building and there's
nice.
that ragged later on top that doesn't do anything. So you're in good, you know.
If you don't want to see the rest, that's fine.
Oh, these are the details. We don't
Yeah.
want to see.
Yeah, it's okay. Keep
Yeah.
going. Very nice.
Okay, this is the rendering again, existing proposed.
Much better.
Much better. Oh, that's fabulous.
And Stephen knows how to do, you know, landmark. He's very.
Oh, yeah. The rest are just precedent, images, precedent.
Oh, well,
This is the finish, the proposed finish, that's the existing finish.
oh, much better.
Next. This is probably the best precedent in that it's a thing, we couldn't find the C of A or the CME of this because it were online anyway. But
Because it probably didn't exist seriously.
well, it was pre-2050s, you can't
Yeah.
find it all together. Anyway, this is new, I believe. So basically just to show you in a predominant industrial slash larger opening in a predominant punched window.
But honestly, I cannot see how you have now 3 rows of smaller windows.
Well, I think industrial slash lights were typically much smaller than those are quite large
But
windows.
this thing is very long. Oh, you mean the windows you have now are large?
The light sizes are very large because they're just 1/1 tall ones.
Yeah, we don't want that anymore.
No.
Doesn't look good. Right, well, any windows that were there, what, if they're pre whatever date he said, would be very divided, they wouldn't be, so, sounds like,
I think it's
I think
better.
it's straight away.
well, that's not there. That's a new addition that was changed, that's that's not a good precedent,
Yeah.
forget about it.
Yeah, forget it,
That's
forget it.
the,
We're good.
yeah,
We're
that's
good.
the Fisher building.
Okay? We even got a smile out of them, come on.
Yeah, I'm glad, I'm glad.
Susan.
Okay?
I have no
Good.
problems.
Wonderful. We're all
Touch
right.
that question.
All right, second.
Anybody on the line?
Well, did Betty start showing up online?
He's not here yet.
And we still have one more project,
Oh,
so give me 30 seconds, I have the time.
I thought she's not on our committee.
But she was in the department
For the first
and
discussion on
helping
this.
us with this thing.
Great, because that was on our committee first.
That was why I had her. She was.
Okay, can we get a motion?
I guess I never saw you with that man.
Yes, motion.
You can have a motion. I make a motion. Second, I need a second. Thank you.
I had to know it was you.
Any opposed?
Just one?
Any opposed?
I don't know.
Any abstentions? Any recusals?
Thank you.
Carried. Welcome, Jared.
Thank you.
Tofu, chicken.
Well. This is real meat.
Like mortadella.
Andrew brought it.
I can tell my mortadella
Yeah,
anything.
that meat sandwich.
Oh, what?
Did.
That's so
Yeah,
nice.
brought this for
You're kidding.
32nd place.
All of a sudden, there's food every time wow.
So write down.
So nice.
You need, by the way, Bruce, she does do eyes. That's her job.
Makes a difference?
Yeah.
What do you mean she does eyes? You're an ophthalmologist? Are you, no?
Sorry, I'm confused. The place begins 30 seconds.
And,
Oh, okay.
December first,
Yeah, good.
Dr. Sue.
Sophia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the,
Where are you?
I'm the woman.
She's right here. and-
She's right here, right in front of you.
Center Street.
I know, she sits
I'm
in
trying to
chair.
get you know.
I wish I had to know.
Yes, yes.
Sophia.
And I left the room to fight with Dr. Suzanne.
No, it's just doing.
No, it's,
Well, I know.
Usually not Sue. Adults.
I lost, I'm trying to save it.
I don't know.
Myself.
Cornell people are great there.
I had cataract surgery.
How long, as long as we're having this discussion, and this is what I was yelling
It
about.
never worked.
What? Are you serious?
It's okay.
How long between
Then you
cataract
understand,
surgery
yeah.
and when you can fly? That's the question. Huh?
Oh, fine. Yes, I have a new flat.
Oh, my mom just had it done. It was not difficult at all.
It's not difficult, it's very easy.
Andrew, you got different kinds, right? Thank you. She likes giving me your presentation.
I just want a little bite.
No, that's a pork. Chicken.
Yeah.
They're in halves, right?
This is so nice. Thank you. Wow. I believe this.
They're all good.
You like tofu corn, and then there's beef.
This is tofu, chicken, that's like the.
Really?
The rest of the.
Oh, really? That's good.
It better be. She doesn't want to give it to you. Everything bagel is fucking finicky. I can bring.
Somebody said to me, I said, I'm talking to my boss, and somebody said,
Couple Sundays before
who's that? I said, Lucy.
Andrea.
I know who my boss is.
He said it to make his own.
Right.
Hello.
Sorry.
You want to have a sandwich.
Maybe after this. My name is Sakaj Binakai. I'm presenting Matthew Cordon Architect tonight. And the project that we have is 134-140 Wayne Street. And we're doing a facade restoration on this building. This building, our focus today is to restore this facade. That at one time, this building was two buildings, and then it was merged into one. And during that, probably when the manufacturing left the trifecta and the artist community started moving in, probably that's when that happened. We don't have evidence when it did happen. But the facade did take some alteration during those years. And this is the existing photos of the facade. You can see on this side, it has this nice ribbon to it. There is some existing condition like this area here. But then as you get on this side, you're losing a lot of the elements. You have these aluminum storefronts that were added on later on. And then also the area where the steps are is being covered with these metal sheets. And we did notice that there's iron cast eyeglass in those areas. So this is pretty much the existing condition. With that, we're hoping to restore it to a more unified language throughout the whole facade. And just notice on these two sides, we do have elevator shafts, and I'll get back to it. So this one here and this one here, and I'll explain what we're trying to do there as we get along. We also intend to readjust this entryway, which purposes the residential on this side, and there's also a commercial here. This is the existing condition. There is like a tile, I think it's ceramic tile that is coming through there. We're hoping to remove that. And then also you see the facade does this shift where it goes in some areas, but it does like extrudes out in some other areas. So we're going back to this original condition, which is this here that has the original wood storefront. And we're hoping to restore it just using that as a precedent and then kind of repeating that on these other areas. And then our new line of facade would be kind of all aligned together, except this area where we have this entry. And this here, we would have a facade that kind of does this penetration in front, kind of like the previous project in a sense, but we need to keep that entry area because we have two entries there, we can't really fit on this side. We don't have the clearance there.
And that's accessible, madam.
That's correct, yeah. Yeah, so if you can go to the next slide. So this is the existing elevation. We're hoping to remove this areas where we have, here we have tile. This is aluminum storefront, as I said. And it's like a combination like here, it's like extruding in front of the columns. And then we're kind of hoping to use this as a precedent and then kind of repeating that throughout and kind of unifying the facade.
Beautiful.
Okay, we can go to the next slide. And so this is our precedent where we're getting all the information for the wood, for the thickness of it, kind of the size of it, and then repeating that. And then also I don't know if you noticed, I'm sorry, could we go back to the previous slide? Just I want to talk a little bit about the columns because that's another thing that's been missing here. So we do have Corinthian order columns on this side, but then they're lost here. I'm not sure if this was the original. I wouldn't imagine, but I couldn't find any precedent to.
They fell off and nobody wanted to pay for them.
Exactly. So we're hoping to use the existing one to create molds of them and recreate them on this other missing one, just so they don't look like that. Okay, we can go to the next slide.
So forgive me for interrupting, but in the molds, material that you're gonna be using?
It'll be a cast iron.
Well,
Nice job. Yeah.
And can I just say for the record, for my own community, see, once you create this reading, right, this homogeneous reading, then having this little door pop up here and disappear makes no big difference, right? Remember, he has to do that to get in. It's a silly show. We love it. Fabulous. Well, if you're gonna buy a building in a historical district, do some respect for it. So thank you. So
Yeah.
we don't get much of this anymore.
He's adding 7 stories, that's the next.
They can do it. I'll look it up. I'm down here.
Are there more slides or that's it?
I believe, yeah, there's 2 more. So yeah, here we would be doing all wood, framing and then glass. Okay, we can go to the.
So what is it that's bringing you here that's not staff level at Love PC? Is there a scope, part of scope that, or maybe it's the next part? What is this saying here?
I also, on top of it, we do have these intercoms that do serve residential. And we did look for precedents, and this is like a clever way that doesn't really like make the building or the historic, like hide the historic, it kind of just disappears. So we're hoping to do the same scenario here. Maybe that. On the upper floors, the.
Is this for the 7-story addition?
Not yet.
Now I'm nervous.
The upper floors, the facade had been painted previously. We're hoping to strip that paint off we, of course, will do some mock-ups first just to see what condition is that limestone and why was it painted? Maybe they're, hiding some things. So we'll do some mock-up first, but the plan is to remove that paint and expose the limestone facade behind it.
Okay, keep going. We're gonna adopt you.
So we got an example of a limestone facade and we're hoping to bring that back here. So this is that area that it's existing there. Yeah, it's all like a metal sheet that they've put, there's no historic significance to it. So we're gonna remove that and then we're also gonna do wood paneling inside of it. So just to go along with the window frames and kind of follow the same pattern. We go to the next one.
Not for Mike.
And this is kind of the historic that we could find. We have the tax lot photos, not very helpful. But then we have this, which kind of confirms these transom lights, that they have been there. So we're hoping to keep that. This is kind of shows that same facade. Oh yeah, and where we have the elevators, we're still gonna do the facade like this, just the glass is not gonna be see-through. It's gonna be opaque at some of those areas. That's all I have for you today. Any questions?
Yes.
Feedback?
Is this a project being done by current cooperators or condo owners?
Yes.
So the building exists, the residents are settled. This is not a speculative project.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Good for you. They don't have to hurry up.
No, really.
But that old entrance with the sheet metal, did you and Roger approve that before?
I don't, this never came to
I
us.
think
This is
it
way
does.
So they
before.
just did
This
whatever
is
they.
like, old Tribeca,
Yeah, yeah. So these people just want to have their.
Good for
home
them.
Renovated,
Yeah.
looking good.
Yeah.
And this
It's
is,
done with that we as
We've
other
found the
people.
right ways to do it and they listen.
this is between West Broadway
can't get
and,
them at the
between Hudson and Greenwich.
It's West Broadway and Church.
Sure.
West Broadway and Church,
It
really?
kind of meets there,
Yeah.
you know, where
Across
that
from Fonda?
triangle is.
This is this is-
Can I call the question?
Yeah.
First, we have to praise him some more. This is
Well,
very.
well,
We're all waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Well.
He's not yet.
I've seen it.
So I call the question.
Yes, is there anybody online?
Two people that.
Nobody.
Who are these people that just lurk around in our own like?
So somebody has to second. Okay. Can we vote?
Yes.
Come forward.
Yes.
For it.
Second,
We did it.
oh, okay, you sure?
Yes, because my friend.
All in favor?
What is your architecture firm?
It's Matthew Cordone Architect.
Cordone?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice job.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any opposed, any abstentions, and recusal, motion carries.
Thanks.
Wonderful.
Oh, my God, thank you.
Be careful, landmarks will make you, all the window gaskets, they'll make you match the color of the facade typically. At least we had to do that on a project nearby, so.
Okay, okay.
So if you put in black gaskets and everything's cream colored, you're gonna have to match the, anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah, best of luck.
Oh, there was a woman online, let me undo that. probably.
Too bad.
Ms. Day, go ahead. We apologize.
Dale. Dale. Where is she?
I'm right here. I'm right here. And I was just, I'm one of the owners in the building that you just evaluated, and I just didn't know if you had any other questions from, someone that lives there. It's not a speculation property. It's the owners trying to restore things.
No, we're grateful. Fabulous.
Thank you.
Terrific.
Have a great evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being wonderful neighbors. Yes.
We're gonna keep trying. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay.
Bye.
It's online now. Sorry, someone was in your office during the presentation.
That is our new district manager.
They could have come in to introduce him.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
You.
You know, that's lies.
Board meeting was like a stick figure.
Is that on? That's, I thought it was.
He left. He
You
turned
were at
out
the
to be
board meeting.
stuck in for a minute.
When I walked in.
Okay,
Okay, Betty,
We're all in good.
30 seconds.
give us 30 seconds.
Betty can unmute herself. She's a panelist. Back to Vicky's question, you did not meet our new district manager last month?
He wasn't the full board, maybe.
I had vertigo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna tell you,
I-
these are off. It's a little too damn late.
I
Okay,
tried to alert him,
Do it.
they cut me down, but I will relate that message. That you would have been, let me see what, because our board members still have not met you.
Not only that, anytime there's. a
okay,
meeting-
okay.
Okay, that's all.
Yeah.
Betty?
Okay, Betty, you missed a very fruitful meeting, or, I mean, maybe you were on for a little bit, but, and I know that you emailed me back about this, I just had a busy day, but I'm gonna set the stage for everybody here, right? We have this resolution that came out of your committee, and you mentioned, did I also see it in Patrick's committee at some point, or am I imagining that?
It did not come out of that committee that I'm aware of. There's another one I'm working on that did come out of that one, but not this one with cobblestones.
Okay, so, and Lucy sent around to everybody, some information, right? And Alice is not here, but she wanted to be here, she couldn't be here, okay. So I'm not looking, as I said in my email, Betty, I'm not looking to write a new resolution necessarily tonight. Unless there's benefit to that you see.
No.
Otherwise, should we just be saying, everybody should have done their diligence and read your resolution that already passed? And now is the time to maybe say something that is a suggestion that you would possibly, consider or? have something
Yes,
that
'cause
you don't?
actually the resolution passed. And in fact, for those people who have read the 2017 report of the the Historic District Council of Historic Districts, there was a budget item in our district budget last year that came from their first recommendation, and that was to develop guidelines to look after so the DOT can move forward with repairing and rebuilding historic district streets.
Do they all have a hard
Okay,
copy?
well, I would.
This is merely asking, the DOT agreed that was needed in last year's budget, but said, you know what, you need to go to seek local funding. So this, as you can see, one of the therefore be it resolved is asking our elected officials to please find some funding to put together this panel of many, many people to work on developing some guidelines that would let the DOT move forward on dealing with cobblestone streets. Well, actually all historic streets, but
I have a,
Bruce, why don't you go first?
you know, the first street in Tribeca that was recobbled was J Street. And I remember that was zine led by Rocco D'Amato, who was actually chair of the Tribeca committee at the time. And that was like a gateway to cobbling, historic cobbling. They did it in Soho slightly earlier. And all I can say is that in every single, and we were so excited about it. And for years, we wanted streets cobbled when we had the opportunity in the Tribeca Historic Districts. And it's been nothing but a disaster for a quarter of a century. I can't think of one example, not a single example that's successful over any amount of time. They're impossible to walk on. People have been seriously injured. One person actually died. You can't really bike on them. Driving is miserable. I can't think of an application. It's cute. It's cute. It's not turn of the last century. The horses did fine on them. But I just think in the real world, the way as Betty is saying, the way DOT treats them, the incompetence in laying the cobbles, the total incompetence in maintaining them in the real world, I don't think it works.
So can I comment some,
Yeah.
in addition to this? Betty, we had some exchanges, and so I went down to Dumbo that just has the new, proposal installed, the new, ADA.
Yeah, they did it on Staple already.
They did, well, in Dumbo, they did the side, the crosswalks,
Is
right?
there another one of these?
As as you cross the 4 streets, then the center, and then the car roads that go on this way. And I never really paid much attention to this, but I will tell you, Bruce, it's not the installation. It is the fact that if the cobblestones that in Dumbo are also made out of granite, the ones where the pedestrians are crossing, they're in what we assume Belgian block or, granite, brick size components. If they're not cemented, which is what we haven't been doing, cobblestones, when they're not cemented, due to the constant vibration and the shaking of the streets and just the earth, inevitably, the dirt in between falls apart, we get holes, right? So they're still doing that. What they're not doing is they're cementing in between granite, not Belgian block, at the crosswalks. And Betty, I sent you those photos. And I've been going there every day to see if the dirt in between is sinking, separating. And that's what I think the problem is, that the nature of cobblestones is that if we're emulating the past, they're not cemented together. Well, I don't know what happens if you cement them, right? And there's that much stress and vibration on it, what will happen? It'll just crack on all the edges eventually.
Huge reconstruction of Greenwich Street, which went from almost canal to almost.
Right.
That fell apart twice. First, after the first 4 years, now the second 4 years. In parts of it, they didn't even put it on a concrete base, they put it on a sand base.
That's right, yeah.
Because they couldn't, which is self-evidently, a non-engineer, a 10-year-old was, you put cobblestone on sand, what's gonna happen when 4,000 pound, 6,000 pound SUVs are going down all day long?
In all different
And they were
directions,
never
yeah.
designed for 6,000 pound SUVs.
That's right.
So if anyone could cite one example of a successful cobbled street, whether granite or cobble,
Yeah.
that survived 10 years, I would vote for anything. Otherwise, I hate to say that I'm opposed to cobbling the streets, but I am.
Go ahead, Susan.
I'm not opposed to cobbling, and Laura Starr
Yes.
had a whole big presentation. I don't know what happened to it, but she felt very strongly that it could be done. But
Right.
that part of the problem that we were faced with is how terrible DOT is and all of that, and they just were lazy and didn't do what they should have been doing. I don't know whether we're gonna make them do it, but I don't know. What I wanna ask is, what is a comprehensive plan? What do you mean by comprehensive plan? What does that include?
And then I want to ask you, what did she say, what did Laura Starr say was the right install when
I don't have it in front of me.
But I know.
Need to tell me, I need to know.
Well, you can.
First of all, she wrote it, is a comprehensive, she wrote a report.
Yeah.
But I will say that the bottom line is that it takes a lot of skill and a lot of specific craftsman-like work.
It
And
does.
DOT consistently says they do not have the money or the manpower to do it.
And can you have the 4,000 pound truck? Or was that construction based on horse and carriage?
I can't answer that. That's a good question.
I just want to point out that the resolution, or the resolution actually is not pro or anti cobblestone. It's pro coming up with a plan.
Right.
Yeah.
And funding for it,
Which is
so,
why I was asking the questions. like,
yeah.
If Laura has that, do we have?
So then it sounds like we should.
So in
just
that
move
case,
forward.
I make a motion.
Well.
If I may, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Because,
If I-
Bring it
work
up.
on it already, we're gonna bring it back to the full board, right, Betty? And we're all gonna vote it up again or something?
No, it has to go back to Transportation Committee.
Okay, but you expected that anyway, so it's gonna come back and we can join you if we want to talk about it again.
Harness it for it. I mean,
She says it's going back to transportation.
It has to be untabled.
Who's
What's
taking-
that? Betty, can you ask Laura
So
to,
add a couple of sentences and then it comes to my line.
Okay, but I don't want to interrupt, Ruby,
No,
but
go ahead.
I want to ask Betty, do we need to do something, Betty?
Okay, after it was passed in committee, Tammy said, put it on the table and let the landmarks committee come up with what they want to say before you bring it to full board. So that's what we did. We tabled it. We're letting you have a discussion to have any input on changes you think are critical to be made. Then it has to go back to transportation so we can take it off the table so we can go to full board and let the whole full board deal with it.
Okay,
Just sort of two comments, and it's sort of repetition to what we've talked about before. But, when DEC came to talk about the areas that they were working on, with the cobblestones, one of the things that we talked about a lot in here was the lack of consistency with material and the lack of prioritization of high traffic intersections with straight versus low traffic ones. I would love to see that addressed. Talking earlier, an hour ago, I still can't wrap my head around the fact that they're doing alleyways now, but the main thoroughfare is sort of passable.
right,
yes.
right.
So then if we come out of your committee, he's adding that, then it's a new resolution.
Hmm.
In my
I
opinion.
want
My-
Did the guy say the judge told them the list that they had to follow? I mean, this wasn't a volunteer DOT thing.
If you believe that, I mean, if not the locations, that there was no, we asked questions, probing questions about
Well,
where
it's
did
here.
priorities come from? Why these? Why not?
Right.
And there was no, it was very much, I have my job and I am in my lane and I am not gonna stray
Yeah.
out of that.
That's correct.
Like,
He
that's
said,
not-
this is what I was given, this is what I'm
Exactly.
trying to do. I don't have any opinion, I can't make any decision.
He did say that, yeah.
Yeah,
And we
that's
wanted,
not helpful.
we wanted a more global plan. and-
So we wanted someone higher up to help.
Because there's other, Jason and I live in the South Street Seaport.
I've heard of
We
that.
have lots of cobblestones.
Oh.
And
Are they
I meant
successful?
higher up in the structure.
no, there's certain areas that they keep, it's like having a pimple that you keep
Oh,
on picking
God.
and scabbing and then.
Can you
But
think
no,
of
no,
a different,
It's so.
No,
threatening.
No, I mean.
got it, you're absolutely right. Leonard Street, it's been a, every time we do something, it gets up.
When they
Oh, yeah.
put it up, then it's horrible the way they put it back.
Okay, Betty.
Can we ask whatever the next,
Bicycle.
they put a
And this one
bicycle,
has to get to the end of the United States.
they put,
Jason, before, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
they put a bicycle, the first time when they cobbled from Canal to, what is it, it's probably late,
Yeah, on Barrett.
on the rotary, on Barrett.
Yeah, yeah.
They put one thin, delivered to address this problem, this is 10 years ago, one thin, smooth concrete strip for bicycles. A, it's long gone because of utility construction, and B, that's one of the worst sections of cobble. You
In
can
the
imagine.
center or on the side?
They put it, exactly.
On the what? On the side?
Left side.
They're still doing that, only now it's in the center
Which
of
is
the road.
right,
So
exactly.
you're fighting,
Yeah.
there's you and your
Yeah,
bike
yeah.
and the car behind.
Something to think about, just because it touches on a whole.
The deal.
You're asking about areas where it's been successful, and I would argue that it's not that old. I mean, it's 10 years old. Work that they've done in the meatpacking district has been pretty solid.
Yes, and much of it is now free of traffic.
Right, well, so there's that, but it's, what it also has, it has
I'm not
custodian.
kidding. I don't want
and
to-
the- this-
Real bid.
Right.
Right.
So-
That's-
What do we do? So we can leave and Betty,
Well,
what
I
do
think come to the transportation meeting if you want to say one more thing, but otherwise, we're gonna hopefully just
But-
go to.
Betty, can you
But this
get
is already
Laura
done.
to, Laura spent so much good time on this.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
need
ask her
to see
to,
that.
you know,
It's very good.
To distribute it, so we
Yeah.
can, like,
to participate here?
I can, although I don't know how much she can contribute for two reasons. One, for people who've read the reports, there were a lot of people with a lot of expertise to put together very basic what's being asked for, which is very basic. It has nothing to do with the installation. It has nothing to do with any of that. The other thing is,
What's the other thing?
Oh, okay.
yeah, the other thing is the right of ways for regulations for both the interpreting the ADA as well as the Architectural Barriers Act was redone last month. And the DOT hasn't even sorted through those rules yet to see what other restrictions there are going to be.
Betty, can you just summarize for me? I'm sorry if I missed this, but what is the point? What are you requesting? What do you want? Like,
DOT research,
huh?
DOT to do some diligence to make,
Well, do you have the do therefore be it resolved statements? Otherwise, I'll look them up.
We'll take care. It's in this, okay.
Okay.
But you're not asking for them to get rid of cobblestones altogether.
It has nothing to do with the current streets really at all. What it says, the first one is therefore, we urge the City of New York DOT, the Landmark Preservation Commission, the Public Design Commission, the Department of Design and Construction to work together to develop an historic streetscape design guidelines to ensure clarity and predictability regarding building and maintaining historic streets.
Sure.
Further resolved, either we ask the DOT to develop a comprehensive plan for streetscape preservation for each of the historic districts in our district. And in order to restore the historic integrity while making them safe and accessible for pedestrians, cyclists, and vehicles. And the last one is we urge our elected officials to seek funding that will facilitate the creation of an historic streetscape design guidelines and support the development of a comprehensive plan for restoring and rebuilding the historic streets of our district.
Susan and I are happy that by the time this is approved,
I think this, don't worry.
both will have tipped on a couple.
Guys, no.
Don't say
like
that.
So,
Get out of the universe. Now they're boring.
I'm all for it. The only thing I want to go down and say is that if I leave comprehensive to DOT, they'll
Right.
pave over every fucking
Yeah,
thing,
that's
oh,
true,
pardon
too.
my language.
That's true too.
But I don't trust them, and that's my problem.
And that should be erased.
Well, no, you know.
What can we do?
And so,
What can we say?
there.
What can we say?
I have a suggestion. When she said that, somehow my intuition sort of went up and I thought, ask them to create a comprehensive plan in conjunction and consultation with various professionals such as.
Well, what it says in the whereas is design guidelines should be developed through a multi-agency collaboration, including the DOT, the DDC, the LPC, Public Design Commission, and other relevant agencies. It also asks the council members and technical advisor committee include neighborhood stakeholders, other preservation and accessibility experts, and have a consensus-based set of principles and standards. So
That's great, Betty. So you included, not only that, you closed the loopholes, the possible loopholes that worried Susan. Okay, great.
yes, and what I can see adding from what you were saying, what you as a committee were saying earlier would be a whereas statement, something to the effect of establishing a priority of the roads and travel paths within our district. Because that is one of the issues of how it's being handled and installed, whatever's being done.
Okay. Did you hear?
Just listen to her totally.
No, Lucy, this is a conclusion now. Are we here to make a resolution of our own? Are we here to support?
Support.
Her?
To critique.
Go back to her transportation committee. We're just not gonna challenge anything, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I read it and I like it.
We support it.
Very much.
We're supporting, we're not gonna challenge it.
Right.
Okay.
Right, and that was the concern that Tammy didn't want this all playing out at full board meeting. She wanted Familiarity in advance.
It's still,
We'll be there.
that was a good suggestion. It's better than we know who's out. Then we can support you if anyone voices a different, a sideways by misunderstanding.
Even us.
This is a very good.
Don't go anywhere.
I make a motion to adjourn.
You good, Randy?
Goodbye.
Everyone have a good weekend. What weekend? Tomorrow, right, don't
Good night, and Lucy, have a nice, long weekend.
Thank you and have a great weekend.
It is good.